Well, folks, it certainly don't take much for plans to change, and that's what they did overnight. We went home last night. Noah was calling for about a 50% chance of rain, of slight showers tonight. Not much accumulation of anything, and next week looking pretty good. So I wasn't too worried about it. We was going to do what we could today. Probably leave us with about 36 acres left to plant on this weed, but get it finished early part of next week, no problem. Woke up this morning, checked the weather forecast. We now have a 70% chance of rain, along with sleet and possibly snow, with total accumulation of potentially half of an inch. Now I'm from the south, and typically we don't have to deal with snow that much, but we have a little bit. But I'm sure you northern guys know it don't dry up real quick after a snow. Don't dry up real quick at all. And today is November 11th. My cutoff date for getting crop insurance on this wheat is November 15th. So whatever doesn't get planted today will not be able to be planted in time to qualify for crop insurance. And well, heck, there's a very real possibility it just won't get planted at all. And with July 23 wheat prices at around $8.50 a bushel, I want to make sure I get my wheat planted. So it looks like my total wheat crop this year will consist of whatever I can get done before the rain gets here tonight. So we got about 153 acres left to plant of what I was planning on putting in wheat. Looks like we might be pulling an all-nighter. We got about 105 acres done yesterday. We planted until about midnight, I think. But we wasted between 2.5 and 3 hours on those test plots yesterday. The day before we got, I think, 115 acres planted, and we planted until about 11:30 or so, but we were dealing with a bunch of small fields. Today, other than one farm, we're going to be dealing with some good, decent sized fields, so hopefully will be some good quick running. It's going to be the early hours of the morning at the earliest before we get done. But if we want all the acres and wheat that we planned on done, that's what it's going to take. I don't know. I might have to be calling Kelly about 11:30 tonight. Bring me a big old fresh mug of coffee, though. But like I said last night, Robert and Dylan are already out here. I think they're already getting started on the sprayer. They're going to spray through this farm today, and then the rest, everything that I plant today after this field is going to have to be sprayed early next week. But we got a problem that they're calling for another good chance of rain Monday night. So not to mention absolutely frigid temperatures. Well, frigid for us for November. Highs low to mid 40s, lows in the mid 20s. I mean, for us, that's like January weather. Not November weather while you still got soybeans in the field and got wheat to plant. Hey Todd, how's it going?
Good, man. You ready for these last 3 bags on that truck?
Yeah, I am. And if y'all don't mind moving the truck up to and dropping it off at Porter Cable for me, I'd greatly appreciate it.
That field there by the dumpsters used to be here for that?
Yes, sir.
Right there?
Yes, sir. Right there.
All right, you gonna need any more wheat besides that? Or they gonna finish it?
Hopefully I'll have a little bit of wheat left over. Would y'all by any chance have a Pro Box or two that I could store it in there until next fall? Do you think it'd keep all right or what?
Yeah, I mean, we've done it before. I'll put it in some bulk bags because we put it in Pro Box and get some wheat real too bad.
Okay.
But yeah, we can work something out on that.
All right, appreciate it, Todd.
All right, see.
Bye. And that right there was Todd at Helena Humboldt. He's I guess you call him the warehouse manager over there. And I can't say enough good things about Helena. I mean, they've bending over backwards to help me out. Bringing a fertilizer truck with seed on it out here, so I don't have to keep driving back and forth with my seed tender, and then sending an extra driver out here to move the truck over to the next farm I'm going to. So I don't have to do it. It's things like that, a retailer going above and beyond, that mean the world to me. know, I might get a lot of other people calling after me for my business, selling me seed or chemicals or whatever, but when you got a company that bends over backwards to help me like that, is loyal to me, you can dang bet I'm gonna be loyal right back to them. You know, between the co-op I use and Helena, I've got absolutely no reason to look for business anywhere else, because both of those companies have been absolutely phenomenal and helping me out, taking care of me, you know, being able to meet all of my needs. All right, we got this field laid off. Let me get my guidance line set, going at an angle to the rows. That looks pretty good. Mark A, Mark B. I know somebody's probably going to ask this question, you know, why are you planting at an angle to the rows instead of planting the most efficient way, you know, the way that you planted the cotton rows? That's because our drill is set up on 7.5 inch spacing. That means you got a row every 7.5 inches. You know, cotton is basically a woody shrub, a very tough stalk, very tough root mass there. And if I plant with the rows, because my drill rows are so close together, there's a good chance that one unit could be riding right there on top of the old cotton row, and that would affect the seeding depth, because the disc has a hard time cutting through all of that tough woody material plus the root ball and everything. So really could affect both seeding depth and actually getting all of my seed in the ground. But if I plant at an angle to the row, the disc openers can most time usually like squeeze in between two stalks and keep a nice uniform depth going all the way across the field. So I found out I get a little bit better stand in the main part of the field where I'm angling across the rows, as opposed to my end rows where, I mean, I've got to follow the rows on that part of the field. You know, it's just little details like that can make, you know, all the difference in, you know, a few bushel difference and a little bit of extra money in your pocket. And in farming, if you pay enough attention to enough of those little details, I mean, it can be the difference between actually making a profit a year and not making a profit a year, or being in business for another year, or calling the auction company to sell all your stuff off. I don't know what happened. Tried calling Nate, didn't answer. Tried calling Kelly, she didn't answer. Dylan just mysteriously left the radio. Did the rapture just happen and I get left behind? Kind of mysterious.
I might be able to hear you now, Matt. I'm out of the woods and back a little closer to the shop.
Good deal. Didn't get a reply from you. Tried calling Nate and Kelly. They didn't answer. I thought the rapture might have happened. I got left behind.
Well, if it has happened, I'm still here too.
Hello?
Hey, are you around Nate or close to the shop or whatever? I'm trying to get a hold of him and tell him to come back out here to the field. He's not answering his phone.
I'm going back down there now. I'm waiting on Dylan to finish Ellington so I can show him where to go on Smith Park. So he needs to come out there with the service truck?
Yeah, I've got two flat tires. He was supposed to have gotten a tire repair kit over in Jackson, and then filled the truck up with diesel. And I told him I'd call him when I was ready to fill up, so he can help me fill up, because the seat tender broke and I can't get a hold of him, and I need to fill up here in about 3 acres.
Okay, I'll go down there.
Well, Nate got the stuff to fix the tires and got the tire cleaned up and found where it is leaking at, and there's no plug in the tire. It's not a hole. The tire's just dry rotted and cracked and seeping through in a couple of places. So both of those tires just pretty much wore out. In fact, all 4 across the back are pretty much wore out. Just 2 of them still holding air without leaking down. It's going to leave the service truck in the field, and tires will hold air long enough, about 2.5 hours, enough for me to run a load of seed out. So every time I fill up a seed, I have to fill up air now too. It'll be just a little bit later in the morning before we get done having to do that. Just hope and pray that they hold out another 125 acres without blowing out or anything. Yeah, go ahead, Dylan.
I think I would ask Santa Claus for a bulldozer this winter and just go to pushing.
I've been asking every year, but I don't guess I've been a good enough boy. A bulldozer and a track hoe. Do you want to go in halves on one?
I've got too much other stuff I gotta buy this winter, but it's just you know what, the workaround these things. I don't see how you do it. It cuts down on all y'all's productivity.
Yeah, you're not kidding. So I guess you're saying you wouldn't trade any of your fields for mine then?
I'm never going to badmouth any of my farms again.
Like I tell everybody else, I'm the specialist in farms that nobody else wants to work. That Ellington farm you're just on, that first big field right there by the road, when I picked up that farm several years ago, it was 4 different fields with a tree line in between each field and a terrace in each tree line. And then my mom's house, the one you probably started on, I think I took about 7 or 8 terraces and silt basins out of that farm.
You still got several more to go.
No, my mom's house, when my dad bought it back in like 1973, there wasn't a terrace on it. And he told me, of course back then everything was plowed up, he told me there was some gullies so big running through that farm you could park a 9900 cotton picker in the bottom of the gully and you wouldn't be able to see the top of the basket in it. And that's when he put all them terraces in.
I can't blame him for that, but I don't understand why back then they thought they had to build them so big.
Oh, all those terraces were built back, I guess nobody had dirt pans. Everything was built with a bulldozer, and you start on the low side and you just push up a berm with the dozer, and you wouldn't worry about farming the bottom side of it. I think that's what he told me. We just getting you started out on the rough stuff. You'll get to finish up today on a real nice farm. I think you'll like it. Well, it's getting close to mid-afternoon. Let's check NOAA radio, see if there's an update on the forecast coming in.
Tonight, cloudy. Rain showers with possible sleet and snow showers likely after midnight. Little or no snow and sleet accumulation. North winds 10 to 15 miles an hour. Chance of precipitation 80%.
Well, there you go. A little bit more dire than it was this morning. Went from 70% to 80%. You know, I love a good cold front. I just don't love a good cold front when there's still work left to be done in the field. Well, Jesse Lampley, with that forecast, man, doesn't look like there's going to be any kind of field work done this weekend. You know, for the rest of y'all, I mentioned yesterday that, you know, got Dylan and Robert out here helping us for the last few days, and then Jesse Lampley of Lampley Brothers Farming, you know, offered to come down here this weekend and help us out. They got done with their beans, and you know, my plan was we're going to be done drilling wheat and be back on the combine, and he could haul a little bit of grain for us. But you know, this weather forecast don't look like that's going to happen. You know, he's you know, Lampley Brothers are all the way from up there in Middle Tennessee, and they both work full-time jobs in addition to farming on the side. I can't say enough good things about the friends I've made through YouTube. Dylan and Robert Joyce, man, y'all been lifesavers. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. Thank you, and if I ever get a chance to repay the favor, please call me. And Jesse Lampley, even though it looks like you're not going to be able to come down and help us, man, just I appreciate the offer, the fact you're willing to sacrifice your weekend off away from your job, drive all the way here from Middle Tennessee and help us out. It means a whole lot to me, and I thank you too. So to all my viewers out there, I know probably quite a bit of y'all already watch Dylan Joyce Farms on YouTube. If you haven't already subscribed to his channel or checked his channel out, please do so. And Lampley Brothers, they've also got a YouTube channel. They haven't quite made it to 1,000 subscribers, so to all my viewers, I'm asking a special request. Both Robert, Dylan, and Jesse trying to support our farm, so I'm gonna put in a request that you go over to their channels and subscribe to their channels, check them out, and support them. It would really mean a lot to me, especially on Lampley Brothers, if we can get them up over 1,000 subscribers to where they can start monetizing their videos and making a little income off YouTube if they desire to do so. And guys, I'll just go ahead and apologize for the quality of the video. I know these videos have probably been deteriorating a little bit here lately with editing and stuff. That's because I've got a pretty bad case of adult onset stuttering. It started back in 2016, 2017, and actually when we were filming the show, The American Farm, it was absolutely horrible. Like, I couldn't even hardly put a complete sentence together. It was awful. In fact, the audio, in fact, the audio editor for the production company told me editing my audio was one of the most difficult things he's ever done. So I'm not near as good as them, so that's why a lot of these clips look like they're cut up instead of being not one nice continuous clip, because I'm having to cut out all the stuttering I'm doing. And my stuttering, even though it's gotten better in recent years, especially after I went to therapy for it, gotten a whole lot better than it was in 2018 when we were filming the show, it still does flare back up. Some days it's worse than others, but it really flares up when I'm just absolutely bone tired. Like, my mind cannot process what my mouth needs to say. Not embarrassed about it or anything. It is extremely frustrating, but it does play havoc in with editing the video, because I've got to cut all that stuff out in between the complete sentences I'm able to make. So I apologize for that. Not much I can do. Doing the best I can with it. It's just that, you know, when we get to, it's just that when we get into really long seasons, especially like what we're seeing right now, I'm just so dang tired. My mind just ain't working right. How about you, Dylan? You copy me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Y'all about to get done over there?
Yeah, we like about 10 acres.
Well, man, I can't tell you and Robert how much I appreciate y'all coming out and helping me for a few days, man. You sure sped us up, and I can't imagine what my state of mind would be right now if you hadn't called me a few days ago and y'all come out and done all the work you did. If there's any way in the future I can make it up to you, please call me.
Well, I might just have to come get you sprayer next spring when I decide to put nitrogen out on the weight and use it instead of the old Patriot.
Well, you let me know. I'll make sure it's filled up with fuel and DEF, and the heater works good on it.
10-4. Wish I could have done a little more, but maybe we got you that much closer.
Yeah, you got pretty much everything that I might be concerned about actually coming up out of the ground before I have a chance to get back in there and spray it again. I don't imagine what I'm planting today is going to come up out of the ground running too quick.
Well, what I planted last Friday is already starting to come up.
Well, as warm as it's been, I would hope so. I imagine this cold front's going to put the brakes on this week coming up real quick. Well, what's going to be number one on Dylan's wish list for future improvements? A Draper head or an R series sprayer? Which one you like better?
Hey, repeat that for us. I'm going to turn my camera on. I didn't have it on. Repeat that and I'll answer you there.
Well, go ahead and tell me what's going to be number one on Dylan's wish list. R series sprayer or a Draper head or even a red combine?
I got to get turned around before I can answer it. That's one good thing about the auto steer. Well, we're shooting for a Draper header and it won't be an R series combine. I mean R series sprayer, but hopefully it will be like a 4730 John Deere. That's what we're hoping for.
I'll go ahead and tell you, we run a 4710 and a 4830 there for a bunch of years, and jumping up from those to that R series sprayer was like going from an auger head to a Draper head. I think they're that much better. But the price tag on them is almost out of sight too.
Well, when you're coming from a Tyler Patriot that's got a 75-foot boom and a spraying speed of about 8.5 miles an hour in the hills,
I think a 4730 is going to be a big upgrade.
Well, I'm just glad to hear you say you're not set on one of those red Patriot sprayers.
I wouldn't be against one if I found one for the right price.
Talk about this R series though. Why in the world they put this detent thing in the middle of the hydrostat? I will never know. This middle position, every time I want to go to the reverse, it always goes in that little slot there.
Yeah, it's still better than Case IH's controls being backwards though, ain't it?
Yeah. And I wish they didn't do away with the boom switches where you can manually turn your boom sections off without having to go in the screen and doing it.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I do miss the boom switches, but you don't have to go in the screen to do it. You can actually do it. There's two different ways. You can do it there on the hydro handle. There's a button at the top, but you gotta cut them off going from each end. There's also two scroll wheels there right below the screen. You can cut them off that way. But yeah, I miss the switches myself. What's your opinion of that Gen 4 monitor?
Me personally, I really like it. I think it's well laid out and easy to use. I don't have a bit of problem with it.
You must have gotten used to it a whole lot quicker than I did.
Well, it's been so many years since I run one of them older screens that I guess I wasn't trying to do it the old way instead of, learning this.
Yeah, I guess I qualify as an old man and just not liking change and having to get used to new things. There comes Robert and Dylan right there. Just got finished up with spraying for the day. Thanks, guys, man. Y'all have a good one. Robert, hope you got to drive this. Hope you got to drive the sprayer too. That sun going down. We got just a hair under 90 acres left to go. It looks like all of it's gonna be done at night. Yippee. I'm gonna need a third and fourth wind to go along with a second wind to make it through the night. I just got off the phone with Jesse Lampley. He was asking me about weather conditions this weekend. I was like, man, the weather hadn't done what we needed to do all year long. I don't see it changing tonight, us missing that rain. The off chance that it does miss us, yeah, come on down, we'll get some beans cut. They said Alex might come down with them too. They just about done planting wheat. Maybe with any luck, if we do get any, the sun will come on out late tomorrow morning, get some breeze. Maybe we'll be able to cut some beans on Sunday. I don't know. He said to let him know. Sounded like they was wanting to come down here pretty bad. I hope I got a good reason for them to come down here. I never met the Lampley brothers, so communicated with them online several times, but never actually met them. And I'd like the opportunity to do it. And if we can get some beans out while doing that, it'll be even better. Hey, it's gotten dark once again on us. It always seems to happen every day. I just ran out of seed and I've got to go all the way over there to get to the seed tender. Because the seed tender been giving me bits. Kelly and Carter can come out here and help me fill up. Then I'll have about 2 more fill ups. Should get me done, or get me real close to done. And I'll probably have to do them by myself. I'm not going to ask Kelly and Carter to keep coming all the way up here to Jackson every 2.5 hours. So what time is it? It's 6:30. I just got done doing a live stream with everybody, and one of the guys said he's in northeast Arkansas and looks like rain's supposed to be here at our place around 11 o'clock. I hope he's wrong. I mean, there's ain't no way we can get it all done by 11 o'clock. I need at least until 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, at least that late before he gets here. If it winds up getting here and I've only got like an hour left of being done with wheat, I'm gonna be so pissed off. I'll just go ahead and warn you. All right, go ahead. Woo, I'm glad I brought my hoodie. Oh, they're wide open. Woo-wee, boy, that cold front has arrived. Those north winds are kicking about 15 to 20. And I'm glad I got a cab to get back into. And I got to put a little shot of air in this tire too. For whatever reason, it held air for 2 loads, and now all of a sudden it's not. And my air compressor just ran out of gas. That one over there, all of a sudden it's holding air, it's not going down. I just don't get it. Whew, it's gotten cold out here. Come on, baby, air up. Have another 25 acres down. And one armadillo hole there. Heading back, fill up a seed again. We're down to 53 acres left. Ooh, there's another armadillo. And unfortunately, 2 fill-ups is not going to quite do it. I'm going to run about 3 acres shy, so we'll have to do 2 fill-ups in a partial. Right now, my ETA of getting done, I'm going to say around 2:30 to 3 o'clock. That's what I'm guessing now. Let's see where the rain is at, if it's anywhere close. I say that's where we're at. It's still well across the river. It looks like moving to the northeast, so we're definitely not in any immediate risk right now. We just might be able to pull this off. Alright, we got that 25 acres done pretty quick. Only took us 2 hours. Of course, we in a pretty big field with long rows. We're about to do our last full fill up of wheat planting. This won't quite finish the field up. We'll probably have to come back and get probably another 500-600 pounds to finish it up. But let me go ahead and put my hoodie on because I can tell that wind is whipping hard outside. We'll fill the glass. This is getting colder and colder. Cold out there. And to top it off, as soon as we started filling up, started sprinkling a little rain. You know what? I'm not even gonna look at radar. I'm just gonna keep going till it gets too wet. If I get done, I get done. If I don't, I don't. Turn the heat up a little bit. I can't wait to get home and put my cold hands on my hot wife. I might live to regret that mistake though. 31 acres go. Let's do it. I couldn't stand it any longer. Had to check radar. That little blue circle right there is where we're at. Definitely rain coming. Hopefully it can hold off a couple more hours. Or if it doesn't, at least be light enough to where I can continue playing a little while longer before it gets too sticky out here. Well, the rain is definitely arrived. Got my wipers on. Got hoods wet, fenders are wet. You can see that drill looks pretty wet right there. Luckily the rain is still fairly light, hadn't got the ground sticky yet. Looks like we got about 10 more acres, maybe a little less, but we still gotta put some more seed in the drill, so it's gonna be iffy. All right, we just ran out of seed again. That's all we got left. I'm gonna guess that's probably about 8 acres or so. Probably put about 1,200 pounds in the drill, and that should get us done, hopefully. Lord, thank you for giving us the time and the strength to get all this seed put in the ground. Now I ask that you watch over this wheat crop for the next 7 months. Watch over it, bless it, let it come up, let it be productive and bountiful, Lord. Lord, I ask that you let this wheat crop be a testament to your gracefulness and everything that you can accomplish. Lord, I ask that you give me the wisdom, the vision, and the strength to get the most out of this wheat crop that we can. Only through you is true success attainable, Lord. Now, Lord, please watch over us and keep us safe over the last few days of our harvest. please give us the few days of good weather that we need to get finished up so that we may go home and get the rest we need to recuperate from this year. Lord, through you, all things are possible. Pray in Christ's name, amen. Well, guys, here it is. Last pass of wheat planting. Took me a little longer than what I thought, but we did get it done in our target 3 days. Woo! Oh, me. Thank God it's done. Oh, I'm ready to go into hibernation until springtime. Oh. Alright, let's see what radar looks like. Look at that right there. All around us. Still spitting rain. Just starting to get sticky. But look at all that yellow heading our way. I gotta quit cutting it so close on all these weather events. But still, it's very rare that we fail to hit our goal. You know us, we do whatever it takes to get the job done. Well, guys, I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna grab some shut-eye. I do believe I will sleep in the morning. Well, I will sleep in this morning. And next time I see you, we'll be back out in the soybean field. Don't know when it'll be. Don't know who'll be out there with me. But I'll bring you along then. Thanks for watching.